No fake plus.
Someone just sent a note saying Nancy Guthrie is dead. They didn't send it to the FBI. They didn't send it to the police. They sent it to TMZ, and what this person wrote inside that note is what made me stop everything to make this video. It's day 66. Nancy Guthrie has been missing for more than 2 months. And on the exact same morning that her daughter Savannah walked back onto the Today Show for the first time since the kidnapping, 2 new notes landed in TMZ's inbox from the same person, the same sender who has been writing to them since February 11th. The first note says Nancy is dead. The second note says where she was seen alive. Same person, same day, same inbox, and those 2 things cannot both be true. Let me start with the first note. The sender writes that Nancy Guthrie is no longer alive. They say they know where her body is. They say they know who the kidnappers are and where they're hiding. And they're willing to hand over all of it for half a Bitcoin. That's roughly $35,000. Think about that number for a second. The original ransom demand was $6 million. Then it dropped to $70,000. Now it's $35,000. The price of Nancy Guthrie's life keeps going down. And that alone should tell you something about who's writing these notes. They want the first half deposited before they share the information, and the second half after a public arrest has been made. The sender also says they had nothing to do with the crime. They claim they've been outside the United States for more than 5 years, and they say they're not motivated by greed, that they just want to start their life again quietly. Now here's where it gets strange, because a few hours later, a second note arrives, same sender. And this time they write something very different. They say, I saw her alive. With them in the state of Sonora, Mexico. Sonora is a Mexican state that borders Arizona. It's about 70 miles from Nancy's home in Tucson. This is the first time any note in this entire case has mentioned a specific location, a real place, a border state 70 miles away. That's significant. That's the kind of detail that makes your heart stop for a second. But here's the problem. The first note says she's dead. The second note says she was seen alive. The same person wrote both on the same day, and that contradiction is exactly what caught the attention of a former FBI agent. If you've been following this case and want to know what happens next,
subscribe and turn on notifications.
because this case just took a turn that nobody saw coming. And what's inside that note changes everything about what we thought we knew. Jason Pack is a retired FBI supervisory special agent. He has spent decades analyzing exactly these kinds of communications. And when he saw these new notes, he identified multiple red flags. The first thing he pointed out was the timing. These notes arrived on the same morning. Savannah Guthrie returned to national television. After 2 months away, Pack said, "Real witnesses don't track the news cycle. If someone genuinely knew where Nancy was, they wouldn't wait for the most dramatic moment to come forward. They would call the FBI, they would call Crime Stoppers. They would not write to a celebrity news outlet. On the same day, the victim's daughter goes back on air." The second red flag is the contradiction itself. You cannot claim someone is dead and also claim you saw them alive. One of those statements is a lie. And if the sender is lying about one of the two most important details in the case, why would anyone trust the rest of what they're saying? The third red flag is the method. Pack said it plainly, the fact that they are sending letters to TMZ instead of calling the FBI tells you everything you need to know about their credibility. Real witnesses call law enforcement. Real witnesses don't negotiate through entertainment media. Real witnesses don't ask for Bitcoin in exchange for a body location. Everything about the way these notes were delivered points away from someone who actually has information and towards someone who wants attention or money, or both, and TMZ themselves describe this sender as incessant. That's their word, not mine. This person has been writing to them repeatedly since February 11th. That's almost 2 months of messages, 2 months of demands, 2 months of claims that keep shifting and changing. And in all that time, the FBI has not acted on any of it. No arrests, no searches based on these notes. No raids in Sonora, no public statement confirming any of it. The FBI, according to TMZ, aren't convinced it's legit. And nobody has deposited a single cent into the Bitcoin wallet. The sender provided 0 transactions. The wallet is empty. If this person really had the information they claim to have, you'd think someone would have paid by now. But nobody has. And that tells you everything. But here's the thing that makes this more complicated than it first appears. This isn't the first time ransom notes have shown up in this case. And not all of them are fake. Let me walk you through the pattern. The first note arrived on February 3rd. Just 2 days after Nancy disappeared, it was sent directly to the Guthrie family, not to the media, to the family. It demanded $6 million in Bitcoin. It included details that weren't public at the time, including what Nancy was wearing and specific damage from the abduction. Savannah Guthrie herself said publicly on March 26th that she believes the 2 notes her family received were real. The FBI took those 2 notes seriously. They investigated them, they tracked the Bitcoin wallet. They contacted Mexican authorities. Those notes had weight. Then something different started happening. Notes began arriving at TMZ. The first one came on February 11th. It asked for 1 Bitcoin in exchange for the kidnapper's name. It wasn't from the kidnapper. It was from someone claiming to know who the kidnapper was. Then more notes followed, and now, on April 6th, 2 more. Each time the demand gets smaller, 6 million became 70,000, became 35,000. The price keeps dropping and the claims keep getting bigger. Dead alive. Mexico body location. Kidnappers hiding, you see the pattern. The notes to the family came early. They had real details, details that weren't public. Details that only someone close to the crime would know. The notes to TMZ came later. They have contradictions, shrinking demands, shifting stories, and no verified information whatsoever. 2 separate senders, 2 separate motives. One set of notes might be real. The other is almost certainly not, and the FBI seems to know the difference because they investigated the family notes. They tracked those wallets. They contacted Mexico, but the TMZ notes nothing, silence. No action at all. Jennifer Coffindaffer, the retired FBI special agent we've talked about in previous videos, responded to the new notes with a blunt assessment. She didn't hesitate, she didn't hedge. She called them out as fraudulent, flat out not credible, not worth pursuing. In her view, this sender has no real information and is attempting to extract money from a situation that has captivated the country. And the Pima County Sheriff's Office said what they always say. All tips and leads are taken seriously and passed directly to detectives working with the FBI. But the FBI hasn't moved on these. Not publicly, not in any way that suggests they believe what this sender is saying. So let me connect the dots. In the first video we made about this case, we showed you how the FBI is tracking every Bitcoin transaction tied to the original ransom. Every cent is visible, every wallet is being watched. In the second video, we showed you why nobody has come forward, despite $1.2 million in reward money. Ride or die fear. Or something worse, and now we're here. Day 66, and someone keeps writing to TMZ, saying they know what happened to Nancy. They say she's dead. They say she was in Mexico. They say they can end this whole thing for $35,000. But they won't call the FBI. They won't use Crime Stoppers. They won't even keep their own story straight. From one note to the next, the question you need to ask yourself is this. If this person really saw Nancy in Mexico, why didn't they call the FBI directly? If they really know where her body is, why are they negotiating with a media company instead of law enforcement? And if they're telling the truth, why does the first note say she's dead and the second note says she was alive? How can both be true? They can't. And whoever wrote those notes knows it. Someone is lying, and here's what makes it worse. Every time one of these fake notes gets attention, it drowns out the real investigation. It pulls resources, it creates noise. It gives people false hope or false despair. and it lets the actual person who took Nancy Guthrie breathe a little easier, because everyone is distracted by a note that contradicts itself in the same breath. The question is whether it's the person writing the notes who's lying, or whether it's someone else entirely. Someone who knows that the longer this case stays in the media without answers, the more opportunities there are to exploit it. Tell me in the comments what you think. Are these notes from someone who actually knows something? Or is someone sitting behind a screen, trying to profit off a family's worst nightmare, while the real kidnapper watches from the shadows? And if you haven't seen the video about why nobody will talk, despite $1.2 million in reward money, it's right here that one explains a lot about what's really happening behind the silence in this case.